What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here and we are live on Sunday. John Matrix from Black and White Sports will be joining us shortly. You know, whenever you have the post Super Bowl, it seems like there's a little bit of news lag. You know, baseball gets started up, NBA season, a little after the All-Star break. College basketball, we are getting very close to March Madness soon, and we got some college basketball stuff to talk about. But nevertheless, there has been some things in the news this week, including Russell Wilson, including Brittney Griner getting honored simply for being black and being in prison, which I don't really know. I didn't know they gave awards for that, but hey, we'll talk about that. But before we get into it, Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. NASCAR season's here too, so you gotta keep that in mind, because I know you're a big NASCAR fan.
Well, supposedly there was supposed to be somebody that was willing to make NASCAR videos. That was really excited to make NASCAR videos, so we'll see.
I was going to make one during the Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace's bitch ass got put in the wall early on, which I was really happy with, but then and then honestly, it's bullshit. Kyle Busch should have won that race, but they're bullshit overtime rules. And that would have been fucking phenomenal, but their ratings were down, so I could have probably made one off with the down arrow. NASCAR gone woke, ratings down again, or some shit like that. So we'll see.
You could.
This is the first time in a long time that I've paid attention to NASCAR, and it's all because Kyle Busch being at RCR. So
there you go. Beardo, how's it going, man? You've been watching a lot of NASCAR?
Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck about NASCAR, to be honest. But
racist.
But it's cool. I mean, NASCAR's cool. I mean, I'm sure watching NASCAR in person is probably a cool event. You know, you get to just hang around with a whole bunch of, rednecks and, drink beer and eat good food, eat hot dogs and burgers and fries and stuff. I'm sure it's a good time. I'd love to go to NASCAR in person, but not something that I, want to sit down and watch myself. But I have been watching some spring training baseball, and that's been pretty interesting with a lot of the new rule changes for this upcoming season. But that's about it, man. It is a slow news cycle, but I'm glad baseball's here and pitchers and catchers, and excited to talk about it.
Yeah, spring training has started, and already there are some pretty big implications. Specifically, I think the one that's affecting people the most is the pitch clock. So before we get into some of these big topics, let's get into that. I want to see if I can pull up this clip. Let's see, pitch clock. Braves. Was it the Braves game? Yeah.
Do we have some NASCAR fans in the chat? I see you, Sumo Orange.
I see there's some.
That's
where they exist. I've never been into NASCAR. For me, growing up in Indiana, Indianapolis 500 was like the fucking, everybody was watching. Everybody was having a party to watch the Indy 500. But NASCAR was obviously huge as well. I just really never got into it.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about this. I know not a lot of people are into baseball, but one of the things Major League Baseball has been trying to do is, speed up the game to make it better for modern audiences and all this fucking bullshit, right? Personally, I think they're alienating some of their hardcore fans by doing that, but they've instituted a pitch clock. So imagine this setup. It's a tie game. It's 6-6, full count, 2 outs, all of this stuff going on. And you strike out because you didn't step in the batter's box soon enough in Major League Baseball. That's what happened.
That's wild.
Yep.
It'll roll them up easily. Uh-oh.
And now what?
He's out.
They have called strike 3. Wow!
Now, that could have easily been a walk, right? It could have been a ball if the pitcher hadn't pitched it close enough, and that would have ended the game on a walked-in run.
Wow.
It's spring training. They're testing it out. They do these things now to kind of see how it is and maybe make some adjustments afterwards. But this is going to be a major change up for baseball. It's going to shorten the games a lot. Beardo, what did you say the average time it's taken off right now of the regular season games from last year?
Yeah, so last year I think the average time was 3 hours and 30 minutes, and the 2 spring training games yesterday, they averaged 2 hours and 30 minutes. So nearly an entire hour was shaved off, and I think that's what Major League Baseball wants. That was their end goal, but to see games kind of end like this, I don't know if that's the way you want to go. Also, I think they were probably trying to set an example yesterday with with that. They're trying to probably set an example.
It's the same way. It's the same way we see in the NFL when it's like, okay, hey, we have this very specific thing that we want to emphasize. So whether that's going to be like holding or a offensive pass interference, so all of a sudden in preseason, you just see every single fucking flag get thrown for that because they want to tell everybody, hey, we're doing this. You better make your adjustments now, overcompensate, so that by the time we get the regular season, it won't be so impactful.
Well, I mean, like as someone that used to love baseball and follow baseball very, very closely, the game definitely, like the game has got to change in terms of the pacing and the speed. It's just, especially in current day with how people's attention spans are so quick to jump onto something else. If you speed that up, I think that you have an opportunity to really maybe change things. Like you said, an hour, they cut an hour out. That might be a little too fast, but at least it's
especially if you're at the ballpark.
Yes, that's a little
like
too fast.
If I'm paying, $100 a ticket or to go watch this game, like I might kind of want to like take my time. But that's to me what's awesome about going to a baseball game. Is it is a little bit slower paced, and you're sitting there, you're talking to your buddies, you're discussing strategies, you're talking about other stuff, you're pointing. Like that to me is like what's good about baseball and fun about baseball. So to have this pitch clock instituted, it'll probably be better for TV viewers. I think if they continue it to the postseason as aggressive as they are, I think that'll be a big mistake. Now postseason games get super long, but the reason it's because every pitch, every at bat is so important. And to me, that's part of the greatness of playoff baseball is you have this tension that is built up and inherent throughout the entire game. And every pitch matters so much. If you're on this like very boom, 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 I think that could take a lot away from playoff baseball, but it's doing what Major League Baseball wants right now.
It seems like that's the only group of people that they're doing it for is the TV viewers, because like you said, when you're at a ballpark and you're paying that kind of money and you do out and you go with friends and family that you might not see every once in a while, you're going out to have a good time for the spectacle of being at a ball game. You want to, eat a hot dog, eat some peanuts, and just hang out at a ball game. And when it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's pretty quick. So it seems like they're only doing that for the TV viewers. And when it gets down to postseason baseball, pitching is so important, and the whole mind games that pitching plays in postseason is so important. So when you speed that up, you're going to artificially sort of change the way that the postseason baseball is played, which we're so used to. Postseason baseball is one of some of the best postseason as far as sports go. I mean, we all love the NFL playoffs, but postseason baseball is so freaking cool just because of how important pitching is.
Well, look at the emphasis that the NFL's put on the TV product, which is it's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like the NFL with their NFL Sunday Ticket, which thankfully is moving to YouTube TV now.
Yes.
Fuck direct TV. But they put so much emphasis in that. And I mean, in a lot of ways, the NFL Sunday games are some of the best TV you're going to find, period. Like, the production value is so good. And that's what you got to focus in on. You've got to focus in on that TV audience. I mean, I know we're just talking about NASCAR, like going back in the day when Fox took over NASCAR, and that was right when Dale Earnhardt passed away. The TV product took such a step up, and the presentation and how they were kind of, portraying these drivers and all of that. So if you can step up the TV product, that's how you bring people back into baseball and speed the game up. So I think they've got to do this. I just don't know if they it might be a little too fast.
I think that to try to emulate or to try to play catch up is sometimes like a reactionary thing that could end up being a mistake. And what might happen is, I know what people want to say, oh, baseball is boring, baseball's fine. Look at baseball contracts. Like they are fucking massive. They are fucking enormous, right? So it's not like there's not money out there for these guys, for these baseball clubs. It's out there. So you might inherently be pushing a lot of this core audience that's been supporting you for years and years and years away with these changes. And what if those changes don't get the results you're asking for? So I think that's a little bit of the danger MLB is facing.
Well,
so we'll see how it works.
I think it's like one thing, and it's an interesting connection. I'm going to try to make an interesting comparison. I'm going to try to make, but who's the biggest YouTuber on the platform? Mr. Beast. And his videos run at such an alarmingly fast pace.
Yeah.
It's insane. A lot of people have tried to mimic that. It doesn't work for all of your audiences, though. If you have a more older kind of audience, you know, they're not going to react to those fast-paced, lightning fast-paced, in-your-face videos. They want a more slow, methodical kind of pace, and I feel like that's what the old school baseball fan. They don't want the hurry up offense in NFL. You know what I mean? They want a laid back kind of thing. So it's a slippery slope that they're on right now about changing too much too soon, and you want to bring a new audience in, but you don't want to alienate the audience that you have. Shut out Star Wars because they showed you exactly how to fuck that up completely.
Right.
So you don't want to alienate the foundation while trying to reach out to new audiences. So there's a balance there that they've got to strike.
Interesting to note that after this year's disastrous Pro Bowl and NBA All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game is king in terms of ratings.
Yeah.
Which is pretty surprising. Now, I think that NFL, nobody cares about the fucking Pro Bowl. They play flag fucking football. Like literally fuck that. And then the NBA, people are tired of the NBA, and it's not a normal game. There's just no defense being played. Jason Tatum put up like 50 points or something crazy. So, but Major League Baseball is the top rated all-star game across all these sports right now.
I will say that the MLB All-Star Game, when it used to mean something, that's what made it so exciting because there
home
was
field
stakes.
Advantage.
Home field
Which
advantage.
Is bullshit. That's
in
stupid.
The World Series.
That's fucking dumb.
I
That
love
shouldn't
it though.
happen. No,
I love it.
That's such dog shit.
Because they're actually playing for something. When you don't play for anything, when they're just playing to be the MVP and they win a truck or a Corvette at the end of the game because they were the All-Star Game MVP, yeah, sure, that's cool. But it's like all these guys who are playing in the All-Star Game can afford a Corvette or a truck whenever they want. So the fact that they're gifted one, it doesn't really matter. I like the fact that there were stakes.
That devalues
baseball.
Your regular season, though, because then that could mean that you fucking win 120 games or 118, whatever, in your regular season. You have like one of the most incredible seasons in history. But because your fucking league, had a couple injuries, couple pitchers that didn't want to pitch because of the rotations, don't end up playing, and a team that made it in the wild card that got like 89 wins that year has home field advantage in the World Series. That is bullshit. So, but I do get what you're saying in terms of that is stakes. Like that game doesn't matter at that.
And that's why baseball is beautiful. It might not make sense. It might not be fair, but the fact that those were the stakes for the All-Star game and these players were actually playing in something, like it gave them an incentive to actually go hard and to want to do good in the All-Star game, because we've seen the Pro Bowl go to shit because there's no stakes, and it's literally right before the Super Bowl. So you don't even have your best players from the best teams playing in the Pro Bowl because they're worried about playing in the Super Bowl. And there's no stakes. None of these guys want to get injured. They don't care about the game. They're going half speed. Some of them are doing just pretty much thud tackling. But then you'll get like a few needles in a haystack where they do go hard, like Sean Taylor did in his Pro Bowl. That, Sean Taylor was going absolute beast mode in his one famous Pro Bowl that he was in. But that's why baseball, might not make sense. But the fact that they played for something, that home field advantage in the World Series, that's what actually made it interesting.
Let's get to some of these super chats. Trevor Beast for 5. Please discuss and show the wild Arizona State buzzer beater from yesterday. It's the epitome of an exciting college basketball ending. Trust me. I did see this. Hey, every once in a while you see stuff like this. This is the age-old argument of when you're in a situation like this, only a couple seconds left on the clock, and, do you decide to miss the free throw or make the free throw? And they decided to make the free throw to put him up 2, but you could see what happens.
For the baseball pass if you're Arizona. Butler makes it. 2-point lead. 3 seconds left. No timeouts. Neal inbounds. Desmond Cambridge. Oh!
Holy shit.
Got it!
Holy shit.
So that's the thing. It's like in that situation, I think that you missed the free throw because you miss the free throw. That's guaranteed to take basically a second off that clock. So putting it at 2 seconds, which means they're probably not going to have an opportunity for a 2-point shot anyway. They're probably not.
Well, they had no timeouts.
And
they had no timeouts, right?
Exactly. So they're probably not going to have an opportunity to get to a range where a 2-pointer matters. So really, if they hit a 3, you're still going to get beat. So at least you're taking some time off the clock. I think that's a coaching mistake.
Yeah, because if you make the free throw, then they obviously have time to set that up. If you miss the free throw, you don't know where the ball's going to go. It could bounce. You know what I mean? Like everybody's kind of out of whack. So wow, that was crazy.
And what happens here is, and this is also very, very bad defense to not. You can't allow this guy to catch the ball going forward. You can't allow it to happen. You have to make him catch it coming back. That's not what happens. So you end up getting a situation where he gets the ball with momentum and has plenty of time to do that. And great shot. So
yeah, that's wild.
I think that's a coaching mistake right there.
And a lot of those guys are practicing those kind of shots now. Because, just like a Steph Curry, just those unbelievable deep shots, and everybody kind of wants to be like Steph Curry, and there's value in it. So those guys are practicing those shots, every day at practice.
Yeah, for sure. Someone says you make the free throw and then foul immediately inbounds. That's retarded because they're in the bonus, so they would get 2 free throws after that. So no, that would not be what you do in that situation. Maybe, but yeah, if they weren't, if you had a foul to give, then certainly. If you weren't in the bonus, then yeah, of course, go ahead and you're going to do a foul right there, but you can't do it in that situation. Otherwise you're going to give them 2 free throws to tie the game. Zenny Biscuit for 5. Back on Monday, trainer Steve Osmussen became the first North American trainer to win 10,000 races. Suck it, PETA. That's that's
a lot of
races.
That's a lot of races.
They do like multiple like trainers. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. Charles Burris for $15. Got to end that season, criminal Bama team. You elephant riding red tie jerk. Go Hogs. Ryan's hair looks much better. Been looking like a homeless LA person lately. Well, thank you.
Ryan got roasted in my Cobra Cast chat the other day with his hair. So I'm getting roasted pretty hard.
And if I was watching Cobra Cast, it may have really hurt me.
FNT was getting you too, though. So
I don't look at the chat. We are going to talk about that actually. Over the past couple days, there's been a lot of pressure on Alabama, and this has nothing to do with football, shockingly. It has everything to do with Alabama's basketball team. Even though Jeremy doesn't pay attention to college basketball, his Alabama college basketball team is one of the best teams in the country. Brandon Miller, their best player. It will be a lottery draft pick in the NBA draft. But once it was revealed that he was involved with this murder investigation, a month ago, we saw Darius Miles get dismissed from the team, get arrested on capital murder charges after partaking in the killing of a 23-year-old single mother in Tuscaloosa. Now we find out Brandon Miller is the one who brought the gun, the murder weapon, to the scene. Now, apparently it wasn't his gun. It got left in his car. He got a text, hey, bring me my gun. And he parks the car there. He doesn't hand it to somebody. They go in the car. They grab it. Woman ends up dying. Brandon Miller has not been charged with anything. And in fact, they kind of came out and said, we don't think we can charge him. That's kind of what they told us. But at the same time, what the fuck are we talking about here? We're talking about a guy who assisted in someone's death. They're not even getting a game sitting down. Alabama's continuing to play him. They've backed him up time after time. The parents of this woman are rightfully kind of disgusted by the situation. And I see our man John Matrix is here. What's up, John? How you doing?
Oh, what's going on? Sorry I'm late.
No, that's all right. We're talking about the Brandon Miller situation. And it's tough because, if he hasn't committed a crime, they say we can't charge him. What are you supposed to do? Well, I'll tell you what you shouldn't fucking do. You shouldn't continue to do the same pregame introductions that you've been doing all season, which feature Brandon Miller, putting his hands out and essentially getting frisked like he's got a weapon on him. Look at this shit.
So they were doing that the whole season?
They've been doing that the
Okay.
entire
I did not
season.
know that. I was thinking that he's trying to
It's
make
even
fun of the
it's even
situation.
in his if I'm not mistaken, it's somebody posted it below in these comments, but it's even like the header of his Twitter account, like his background picture. It's him being frisked like that at a game. So, man, this is a really strange situation. So, yes, full disclosure, I'm a huge, football fan, Alabama fan, lifelong Alabama fan. I just don't keep up with college basketball. I know Alabama's doing great this year. I can't really jump on the bandwagon and pretend that I care because I just don't. I'm happy they're doing well, though, obviously. But this situation, learning about this one, it's tough, man, because it's like, okay, if he hasn't been charged with a crime, is the university supposed to react? My thing is if this was, here's the thing that would happen with the university. If you had a white player that said the N-word, they would be suspended right now. Okay. They'd be suspended.
Even though it's not like illegal or something.
Right,
yes.
right. They would be suspended. Or if someone made some racially insensitive comment during playing a fucking video game, they would be suspended, even though there's no crime there. And so that's what bothers me about it, is that clearly, look, it's not breaking news. Great athletes or important athletes to their team tend to get away with a lot of things. We know that. But there's a real life situation that's happened. So I think the most, if you're taking all things in consideration with cancel culture and outrage culture and all that bullshit, this dude needs to take a few days off. This dude needs to sit. He's involved in a situation, regardless if he's directly involved or meant to be involved. He was involved with a situation where someone lost their life and there's a police investigation going on. This dude needs to sit down for a few days. And the university is very tone deaf right now. Very tone deaf.
The response has been the real thing. Because the response from Nate Oates, the head basketball coach of Alabama, was not very good. Instead of, hey, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a really tough situation. There's an investigation that's going on right now. We're going to see how things play out. As of right now, there's no charges, so we're just kind of playing it as it goes. Like, that would have been one thing. But instead, he doubled down supporting Brandon Miller. They knew that this had happened a month before everybody else did. They knew he was involved. They said he's still a big part of this team, blah, blah, blah. Now you've got them being criticized from all aspects. Nate Oates criticized once again after that introduction happened with all eyes on him. Nate Oates, Brandon Miller's pat down pregame introduction won't happen again. So Alabama's continuing to have to react to this. I am always a guy who would prefer that things play out in court. Play out in court, see what happens, instead of prematurely suspending people. This is a little different. This is a college basketball player who, by the time it plays out in court, will not be in college basketball anymore. And we have seen so many college athletes get suspended for far less. But Jameis Winston, didn't he fucking jump up on the thing and said, fuck her right in the pussy or
Fuck her
something?
right in the pussy.
Jameis Winston didn't he get suspended a half for that? Am I crazy?
Yes.
He got suspended for a half. I can't remember. Was it for that?
Half. Yes,
okay.
First half, and then shortly after that, I think he stole crab legs. He was suspended a whole game or something.
Yeah.
So this is not the only time you can sit out is if you've are convicted of committing a crime. It's like a moral thing.
It's a self-awareness thing. It's a self-awareness thing.
To me, it's pretty clear that Brandon Miller and probably other people on this Alabama team are a bunch of fucking thugs that are involved in shit they fucking should not be. And because he's the best player on one of the best teams in the country right now, they're not going to punish him. And I don't know. It's a tough situation. I get it. I would hope that if I was in that situation, I would have the integrity to say, you have to sit out for a little bit, man. But I don't know. What's your take on this whole thing, John?
Wasn't Alabama number one last week?
They were. I think, aren't they number two in the country right now?
I think.
Okay.
Number two.
So I didn't realize that they were doing this pregame ritual the whole time. I mean, I definitely don't follow Alabama basketball. Now, from what I understand, he actually provided the gun. He got text messages from the guy that actually shot the was a woman that got shot?
Yes. Yeah. So the way it worked, so just to lay this entire thing out for you guys, Darius Miles was the player that did get arrested in January for this murder charge. He's not the one who fired the shot. He's the one that gave the gun, that grabbed the gun, his gun, that Brandon Miller brought to the scene, handed it to the guy who actually shot this woman.
So, okay, so this guy basically gave the gun to another guy, and then Darius Miles took that gun and then shot somebody else.
I believe Darius Miles took the gun and handed it to the dude so he could like shoot this woman.
Oh, okay.
So it was 3 people involved.
Wow.
It was the one dude's gun, and then there was a middleman who took the gun and gave it to somebody else.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is at 2:00 in the morning. Brandon Miller also, there's some, the police are alleging that the way he parked his car was intended to trap someone there so that they couldn't leave, so they would be killed. Brandon Miller's attorneys dispute that, but like, there's just too much that's not clear. A 23-year-old woman with a child has lost her life, and Alabama is, I think, completely tone deaf on the way that they've handled it.
This is why the NFL has the commissioner's exemption list right here, so they don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. This is kind of tough. He wasn't even there, right, when it happened.
Well, his car got fucking shot up. So I don't know if he had walked away from the scene or not. I would have. I'm not willing to fucking say that because I don't know. But
I don't really know a whole lot about this, and I'm finding out a lot now. Just the few minutes I've actually been on here, so man, I can't even really say much on it.
Mike is right. It wasn't Brandon Miller's gun. Correct. It was reportedly Darius Miles' gun that he had put in Brandon Miller's car. And then he texts Brandon Miller, "Hey, I need my gun."
Oh, okay.
So Brandon Miller then drives to the scene with the gun that's in his car, which was Darius Miles' gun.
So we don't really know if he knew what was going down or not.
That's the thing. That's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah,
because
and that's why they can't charge him. That's why they're not willing to charge him, because they don't feel like there's enough that they can be like, we knew that he was bringing this gun to the scene because he knew somebody was about to get killed.
Yeah, but the whole thing.
I think I know, but hey,
optics are important, and it's just common sense, man. You're caught up in this thing, regardless of how much your involvement is or isn't. I know you've been doing the pat down all year long. That's totally fair, but optics, self-awareness.
Yeah,
maybe
the coach should have told them before the game. Hey,
maybe for
we know you guys do this, but.
Just go out there.
Not doing it tonight.
Yeah, instead of doing that, just be like, or something like that. Something simple to show some respect or something. It's just self-awareness. And so, I follow the Barstool Bama sports page, and they're like, oh, he's been doing that all year long, and, yada, 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 and he doesn't have to stop doing it. Maybe he should, but he doesn't have to. No, and people don't have to stop fucking criticizing him for it either. You know?
It's kind of like, if Aaron Hernandez was still alive and he did a touchdown, he just went to the crowd and started going pop, pop, pop like that. Then we find out he's actually charged with killing somebody and he still gets to play. That's not a good look.
Yeah.
And Brandon Miller, to his credit, a lot of distractions, obviously. He went out that first night against South Carolina, put up 40. Put up 40, So I guess he's using his motivation. But man,
anytime we hear about an athletes and murder, I always feel the need to give a shout out to Ray Lewis. So shout out to my boy Ray Lewis. Hope you're doing good, bro. So
Jersey Dolphin says, I'm a good friend to actual Bama sports beat writers and journals. I'll get the truth for y'all. Give it to John. Well, I don't necessarily trust a lot of people that are involved in that to give the reality based on the reaction we're seeing from Alabama fans. Like Clay Travis has gone to war with Bama fans basically over this.
He has.
And I get it. I mean, yeah, if this guy played for Purdue, I might feel a little bit different way about it. I would hope that I would feel the same way, but obviously if you're a fan of something, you might inherently have a bias. But speaking of Purdue, they had now fucking swept. They get swept on the season by IU. Fuck the Hoosiers. God damn it. But that's all right. Purdue, they're getting ready for the tournament, right? They're getting in fighting shape for the tournament.
I always got love for OJ. Hello, Twitter world. Who doesn't love some OJ? So
Juice has the best Twitter intro. He does. He probably could sell a lot of merch off of that.
Probably. But yes, a very crazy situation in Alabama. I think we've probably reached the peak of it. I think that it's going to be another week and it'll probably go away if they don't incite anybody again. Maybe if they stop doing that fucking pregame introduction. But
yeah,
we might be looking at a team that has a decent chance to make a run in the tournament with Alabama with their talent. And it's going to be controversial if he continues to play.
Yeah.
Bert for $2. I can't believe he dropped the word thug. Yes, I dropped the T word. I did do it, Bert.
Oof.
Connor Akers for $2. Have you seen the annoying Burger King Whopper ads?
Never seen them.
The ones that are like Whopper, 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 double Whopper, Junior Whopper, Whopper.
Okay.
Those ones? Yes, I've seen those.
If he kept doing that, I was gonna kick it. I was gonna kick him.
That's what it is. That's why people fucking hate him.
I've never seen it.
You didn't have to. You didn't have
I used
to
to work at Burger King when I was in college. That's still the most fun job I ever had. But when I quit there, I worked there a year and a half.
Did you
I
eat
didn't
the
eat
chicken
Burger King.
fries?
They didn't have chicken fries back then. We talking about back in the 90s, man.
Oh, old school.
Yeah. The most fun job I ever had, but when I quit, I didn't eat Burger King for probably 3 or 4 years.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Ryan's looking for this stupid thing right now. I can tell.
Yeah, here it is.
No.
It's the worst.
No.
Literally the worst.
It's bad.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
I have heard this.
Yeah,
Good
I hate
God.
that commercial.
Taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day.
Yeah, that's the one they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But I like it because it's become a meme. So like,
Yes.
I forget who it was.
It always plays at the worst moments.
Yeah, it's like, Damar Hamlin appears to have died on the field. They're doing CPR. We'll be back. Whopper, 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 Whopper. Like, like that. So it's really funny.
Look at this. My favorite reinforcer reason you fuck.
There you go. Gotta watch the ad. But yeah, the fucking old Whopper. Yeah, I do hate that one. Burger King, I think their ads are fucking like divisive. The King one, for like the first like a little bit of the King was okay. Then they got weird. The King things got really weird. That dude looks creepy as fuck. But they also had like remember the hands one where it was like the Junior Whopper or whatever. Like my hands aren't big enough for a Whopper.
Small hands.
Yeah, he had small hands. That was pretty funny. So.
Carl's Jr. always had the best. They'd always have like, good music playing, a smoking hot chick, a nice car, and then she's just eating this huge burger and the sauce is dripping all over her, and then it was Carl's Jr. Simple.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Carl's Jr. is good. They took all of the Carl's Jr.'s and Hardys out of Houston.
What?
Yeah, we don't have it. There used to be one down the road from my house.
Damn.
JRC for 2. Brandon Miller, example of the company you keep. I maybe, you know what I mean, but I don't know. I don't know enough to get like my guess right now. My guess, based on the fact that he's had this pat down intro like the entire time, I think Brandon Miller's probably just a massive piece of shit thug. That's what I think. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of pieces of shit in all aspects of sports, so I can't tell you. I don't know if he got sucked into this because Darius Miles. I don't know if maybe this has been a part of his life his entire time. Don't know.
Shout out to Ray Lewis.
Shout out Ray. Shout out. I do want to talk about Russell Wilson a little bit. This season was horrific for Russell Wilson. Everybody thought he's going to go to the Broncos. Look, we think they've got a good defense. They've got an offense that's ready to explode if you get a real quarterback there. And he gets traded from the Seahawks. Everybody thought that's it for the Seahawks. Might as well take this season off, rebuild mode. Geno Smith comes in there, wins comeback player of the year. Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos and lays an egg. He looked terrible. But really worse than just what happened on the field for Russell Wilson has been the ramifications of his reputation. Now, everybody's saying, yeah, this dude's kind of a fake piece of shit. I wasn't happy to be in a teammate with Russell Wilson. I couldn't even talk to this guy. I had to go through his agent if I wanted to talk to him. He's fake. He's artificial. Everything about him is annoying and cringe. And so now we get reports that are coming out like this. Russell Wilson asked for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks general manager to be fired before he got traded. Quarterback denies report. And he was very aggressive, Russell Wilson, denying this report, even tweeting out a response to the article just a couple hours later. So it's very clear he doesn't want people to feel this about him. But with everything that's happened in the past year, a lot of people are not going to give Russell Wilson the benefit of the doubt. They're believing that this is the case. And with everything we've seen in the past year, people completely have the back of Pete Carroll instead of Russell Wilson. So it's just more drama for this dude.
Russell Wilson is one of the weirdest, my journey with Russell Wilson has been so strange because I called him overrated as fuck when the Seahawks were going to Super Bowls and winning and then choking, all of that,
Easily overrated.
because he literally was one play call away from being a back-to-back champion, which would have changed the whole narrative about how the media portrayed him. But I always said he was overrated when the Legion of Boom was there. And you had Marshawn, you had Pete Carroll, who you think what you want about Pete Carroll, but he was a fucking rock star at USC and a dominant college football program. He left because they had sanctions coming. So he knew he had to get out. Okay. He jumped off a sinking ship and then he goes, for his second stint, I believe, in the NFL. And, he creates a pretty powerful team. But I always felt like Russell Wilson was extremely overrated. And then the defense got depleted, and Russell Wilson started putting up big-time numbers. He was putting up, he wasn't leading the league in the NFL, but he was putting up top-tier numbers. And he became the driving force of that team. They weren't a Super Bowl, winning team at that point. But I said, man, I guess I was wrong about Russell Wilson. I've never liked him at all, like on a personality level, because this is before he's been roasted recently. This dude's always made cringe commercials. Okay. Always made cringe commercials. He's just cringe in general, but
you can get away with that. You can get away with that. Tom Brady can get away with being cringe, right? Yes. When he's winning Super Bowls. He can't when he's 8-9. Same thing with Russell Wilson.
Right. Even look at Russell Wilson in that first Super Bowl. It was really that defense was all over Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
that game was over in the first half. They won like 40-8. Russell Wilson, he didn't do anything in the game because he really didn't have to do anything. They could have had me at quarterback and they would have won. It was such a wipeout.
And, we've seen a couple quarterbacks get their start that way. Ben Roethlisberger in his first Super Bowl. Tom Brady arguably in his first Super Bowl.
Tom Brady's a bit different because he actually had to make plays in the clutch.
True.
That's
agreed. Yeah.
Well, and I see this right here. Germany defense got depleted because Russ demanded to be top paid QB. They had, I 100%. I know that. And the same thing, we've seen this with Rodgers, and we'll see how it goes with Mahomes. With these giant
Mahomes is the first quarterback to take up that much percent of the contract and win a Super Bowl.
Yep. And
but it's all backloaded. That contract for him, for Patrick Mahomes, hasn't hit yet. Because it's all backloaded. It's like backloaded like the last 4 or 5 years of that contract. That's when he starts making the big bucks.
And by that time, contracts are probably going to be even bigger than that.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of wild. But back to Russell real quick. So anyway, he played well, and then now within this Denver project, which I'm just telling you right now, my gut feeling, because I know it's easy to jump on the anti-Russell Wilson bandwagon right now, okay? I think Sean Payton's going to be a game changer there. I think Russell Wilson's going to look really fucking good next year. I think that team's going to look really good because Sean Payton's going to change the culture there and change the entire way that team runs and feels, and Russell Wilson's going to benefit from it. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's just not. But he clearly has talent, and Sean Payton's going to be able to utilize that. So,
Did you guys hear that story about Russell Wilson having his own office?
Yes.
So
I'm like, what?
I've actually got that. We can talk about that
his
right
own
here.
Office on the executive floor, the same floor that the GMs did.
And, we heard about Russell Wilson's office and his parking spot. And, it is fairly common for quarterbacks to actually have some sort of space for them that's not just a locker room, right? Because they are doing study, they're doing stuff like that. But this is a little bit different for Russell Wilson. He was being treated like he was an executive with the Broncos. Some Broncos coaches had issues with Russell Wilson's office in the team facility. One of the coaches said,
man.
so are you a coach or are you a player? Your open door should be you sitting at your locker. Because Russell Wilson said, hey, guys, I know, listen, I'm on the second floor, but it's an open door. If you guys want to come up and talk to me, there's an open door policy. Just come to my office and talk to me. So a lot of fucking players.
That sounds weird.
A lot of
sounds
players had some
terrible.
issues with that. One of the funniest things for some of these reactions to the report from Russell Wilson was this is how Russell Wilson was sitting in his office.
Hey, he has to do high knees up there.
And then this one, imagine Russell Wilson calling his teammates to his private office after throwing 3 picks and a loss.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah, so there is, he does have this office, which is fine, but it's about where it's at, and it's about the feeling that he gives the coaches and the players. It's clear that people are uncomfortable with him. As soon as you start hearing, Marshawn and Richard Sherman on that podcast talking about how weird Russ was and how they couldn't even get him on the phone. They had to go through his manager, like all this stuff. It's clear that he's rubbed people the wrong way for a long time.
That sounds a lot like Dan Vask, to be honest with you. Dan Vask has 7 different assistants if you want to talk to him. And I mean, when he gave me his number, I was like, oh man, a huge star like Dan Vask. But he gave me his publicist's number, but neither here nor there. Russell Wilson, Dan Vask, very similar from a personality standpoint. Russell Wilson, man, can we play that cringe commercial? What is that? What is it? Is it a Subway commercial?
Oh yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, it's the
Holy
dangerous
crap,
sandwich.
man. But it's like
The
he
danger
has
witch.
been this way for a long time. Like I used to listen to ESPN radio on Sirius XM every day at work, every fucking day. That's all I would do. And there was this fucking horrible Russell Wilson commercial. It's like an Ask Me app or some bullshit like that. It was the cringiest shit I've ever heard, and it had one of those American Idol winners music playing in the background. It was the worst fucking commercial ever. I think I showed it to you one time, Ryan.
There's a couple sandwiches. This is one of
that's
the
terrible.
There's another one that's also bad.
The
but this
one
is
in
one
his
of them.
leather jacket is the worst one.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done?
I like the accent Russell Wilson has in this one is
Yeah.
I'm trying to apply for a bank loan. Please give me a bank loan. Like that's the accent he's using now as opposed to one that you hear on some of his other videos.
Anything dangerous? Jeez, that is dangerous.
Man,
I've
who
done something like that, too.
directed this?
It physically
Who wrote the
hurts.
script?
It physically hurts.
It's painful.
Terrible.
It's painful to watch.
It's so bad.
I think somebody did a green screen of this.
I mean, who's done a worse job on Subway commercials? Him or Megan Rapinoe?
Well,
Okay, I mean,
Megan Rapinoe's is almost like less cringe somehow than this.
I'm not.
Somebody look,
This
they put it on the green screen so you can put anything you want back there.
yeah.
Well, this one. I call this one the blind. Big butt. The dropper. The left hand. Upside down.
God.
My God.
Oh, it's so bad.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
And what makes it even worse is he was just like,
Is that the Bane theme from The Dark Knight Rises behind? Like that's what it sounded like. Go ahead, Beardo.
It sounded similar to that. I was thinking the same thing, but then there was like that little beat drop every time it paused. No, it was, man, it made it so much worse because those would play while he was shitting the bed for Denver and just all the expectations and just everything, man. It's been a perfect storm for Russell Wilson with him getting traded and then getting paid all that money before he played a single down for the Broncos. He didn't play even preseason because Hackett was like, yeah, we're not going to play our best player during preseason, which, okay, but he's brand new to your franchise. You're putting together a brand new entire offense that is supposed to be built around this guy, and you aren't even playing him in the preseason. You sign him to this massive contract, and then when he doesn't perform and then those commercials play, it makes it so much worse.
Yeah, did I say Bane? Yeah, Joker theme from Dark Knight. Dark Knight. And
It did sound like that.
But they also
Yeah.
play. Did they play that in the Dark Knight Rises as well? I feel like they're in the Dark Knight Rises
they might have.
trailer where Bane blows up the football field. I feel like they played that theme as well, so that's probably why I was thinking Bane. But yeah, Joker's theme. Isn't that it? Was that it? Am I right about that? I think
It
that
sounded
was
very similar.
yeah,
It sounded very similar.
pretty
for sure.
close. I want to play this other one, but it's got a song in it, Ryan. So we'll probably get hit. Probably
Is it?
It's I don't know, that fucking Russell Wilson commercial.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
18 seconds. It's 18 seconds.
Whatever.
I remember this. This used to come on. I used to listen to this fucking commercial every time ESPN radio would go. There would be the audio version, but this is.
Ask me about my pro football dreams. Ask me about my college days. Ask me about my inspirations. Ask me about my baseball career. Ask me about my win.
I love the meme on it.
Yeah. Well, and that Bert for $5 says, what is Russell Wilson's real accent? 1, celebrates Black History Month. 2, grifts the month. Or 3, does not celebrate the month. I don't know. It changes. Like, again, it is very much like Obama when he goes to talk in front of the NAACP. All of a sudden, he sounds black. It's like I remember a Pro Bowl like 5 years ago where Russell Wilson like went up to give an interview during the Pro Bowl with all the other players, stuff. They're warming up, they're doing their stuff, and he just sounds ghetto as shit. Like he's trying to sound ghetto as shit. When you never hear him like that in post-game interviews, in these commercials, anything. So it's everything about Russell Wilson has been fake forever. And when you're performing well, it doesn't matter as much. When you start to struggle, as we've seen, that's what matters. Even Stephen A. Smith said that. See if I can find that, because Stephen A. Smith kind of put him on blast. He's like, none of this will fucking matter if you didn't stink Russell Wilson. And he's right. He's wrong. Stephen A. is about a lot of shit.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, Russell Wilson's just a cringe person, man. He really is. And it's not even that, though. The cringe is not even the worst part of it. It sounds like he's just a complete diva.
Yes.
Here we go.
Russell Wilson, I hope you're listening because I root for you. I really, really do. I root for you and the family. Let me be very, very clear. If you didn't suck, none of this.
I'll let it go a little more.
You're stunk. Period. Let's just call it what it is. Okay? We're going to simplify this. He didn't look good at all. Geno Smith looked like a significant upgrade from what departed from Seattle prior to this season. The fact of the matter is, people in Seattle were perfectly okay with Russell Wilson being gone because they had Geno Smith. Now, Geno deserves a
Yeah, and he's right.
Yeah.
None of this would matter if he was playing well, but it matters because he sucks.
I can't believe we actually saying Geno Smith had a better season than Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, when a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He had a better season than a lot of quarterbacks this year.
Even Dak had a better season than Russell Wilson. That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Taker for $6 says, to be fair to Russell, many Seahawks fans want Pete gone, and the GM's been rumored to want Pete gone too. Defense has been so bad as of late. I mean, maybe. I'm not going to speak for Seahawks fans. I'm not a Seahawks fan. Yeah, when you struggle, you often want change. But I think this year was an indicator that maybe Russell was part of the problem, instead of it just being Pete. Is Culver still S tier for $2 from Mike?
It's the S tier of S tiers.
Oh, I remember that video you made on food tiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good video. It's a good video.
A lot of backlash over the McDonald's in that video.
Yeah.
What was McDonald's?
I think we put it on S, didn't we?
It was Jay's fault. It was Jay's fault.
Yeah, Jay convinced me, I think.
Yeah,
because
Jay
I do
bullied
go to
us.
McDonald's more often than I ever go to anything else.
Jay bullied us into that because I was going B or A, and then Jay talked us into moving it up to S. So
Did you put In-N-Out in S?
I fought for it, but Ryan intentionally voted it lower just so it would get bumped down to an A or a B. I can't remember.
In-N-Out?
Yeah.
No, I did not. I
Yes,
have like
you fucking did. Yes,
No,
you
I didn't.
fucking
I've
did.
been like
In-N-Out is
super
the
clear.
S
Give it
tier.
a terrible fucking rating.
I
just
think
so
I gave it
would
a
all
C,
fit it.
right?
Yeah, that's a fucking terrible rating.
That's
No, it's
hor-
not.
S
That's
tier of S tiers.
In-N-Out
Jeremy,
is
is
the best
that
fast
grade
food burger.
is that grade that I gave it, regardless of what you think about my opinion, is it consistent with everything I've ever said about In-N-Out?
Yes, it's consistent with you having fucking horrible fucking opinions on In-N-Out. Yes.
In-N-Out
That's
is overrated.
surprising.
But that, so I did not make up that to try to get a lower score. That's how I've literally always talked about In-N-Out before we ever thought about doing food tier videos. So don't misrepresent me. You can think it's a bad
I'm
opinion,
not,
but don't try to say I intentionally made my grade lower to try to fuck you over. That is
listen. I call Jack Murphy gay. It's he's consistently gay, but he's still gay. Okay, so you're consistently wrong. I'll give you that credit. Yes,
thank you.
But you go out of your way to disrespect In-N-Out just to spite me, and you fucking.
I don't just talk about it. I don't just bring it up. It's the same way with like, well, I'm not even gonna say it, but I don't bring it up just to disrespect it.
Yes, you do.
It gets brought up, and then I give my opinion on it. So
I either go to Whataburger or Five Guys.
yeah, I've been.
I never go to
craving-
McDonald's.
Dude, I've been craving a green chili burger from Whataburger. I've been craving.
I've never had that one.
Ooh, you got to do them.
They got this.
What is it?
Wait,
What did you say, Ryan?
A green chili burger.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Culver's,
it's like the
but-
New Mexico. It's like the New Mexico hatch chilies.
But Culver's is top dog though. The Butterburger, you're not beating the Butterburger.
I'm gonna make
Culver's
a
is
special
good.
trip
You know
to,
what? I made a mistake. Me and Jeremy were going at it on Culver's. I got it mistaken with another restaurant.
What do you think it was?
Chili's or
no, not Chili's. Checkers is probably what he thought.
No, I love Checkers. Checkers is good. The Culver's is good. The fries aren't that great.
Fries are pretty good. Crinkle cut fries, but
They're
the
okay.
Butterburger, the Butterburger.
The Butterburger is really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
So-
Butterburger's good. Eric K for 5, 18 seconds. That's 20 seconds shorter than ads would last with Brittney. Yes, JRC for $2. Trump showed what leadership is last week. Hey,
Yes.
Trump took perfect advantage of a situation that was laid right in front of him. I can't believe that these people let that happen. And to Trump's credit, it was so perfect. It was exactly what he should have been doing and should have focused on, and I loved it. All
I'm
right.
getting hungry with talking about all this food. Though.
Yeah, me too. All right. I want to talk a little bit about Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner.
We're done. I thought we were done talking about black male basketball players.
Yeah, we got another black male to talk about. We talked about Wilson. We talked about Brandon Miller. Now we're going to talk about Brittney Griner. Nick Walsh for £2. Shake Shack beats Five Guys.
Shake Shack's really
disagree.
good, but I'll take Five Guys.
I've had a couple bad Shake Shack experiences. People swear by it. I've had some bad experiences. That's where we went in Boston, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Dude, that fucking pissed me off, man. The shakes, the shake tasted like they used water from fucking East Palestine, Ohio in it. Like it tasted like chemicals or something.
Look
It
at
was
this shit,
disgusting.
dude.
Oh yeah,
Clay Travis is in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they're going all out. They're going all out. All right. The American hero, if you were listening to the woke mainstream sports media, Brittney Griner is back. She's back in the WNBA. I'm using she very liberally here. But Brittney Griner has, in fact, returned. And the Phoenix Mercury made a big deal about BG behind the scenes, signing her to a pretty pedestrian contract. And, here you go. We can see. I'm not going to play the music because it's copyright. Big deal about Brittney Griner looks more like a man than ever back here for her photo shoot. And it's pretty sad the way that Brittney Griner has been represented by the media, a literal druggie who got busted with drugs in Russia that was turned into this big political thing where we left a former Marine there instead so we could get Brittney Griner back. Well, now she's receiving awards and recognition I don't really know why, other than just for being black and being arrested and then being freed after not facing her punishment. Brittney Griner received standing ovation as she walks out on stage at NAACP Awards alongside her wife just over a year after being detained in Russia, with NBA star calling to continue the fight to bring home every American detained overseas.
Oh, my God.
Let me give a disclaimer here. You guys as white guys are going to be called racist for covering this, but don't worry. I already made a video on this and put it out. Actually, don't play the clip because it got blocked worldwide. That's why I was late. I had to reshoot the whole thing without video.
But there you have Brittney and Cheryl Griner being recognized at the NAACP Awards. And I get it. They're going to use these things to try to spin a narrative. What are you being recognized for? What is there to value about that? What is there to celebrate?
Nothing.
Brittney Griner got caught with drugs.
She admitted
I know the left is like very keen to take, drug addicts where something happens to them and like celebrate them as heroes. We know that. It's understood. But what did Brittney Griner do? She got caught bringing drugs into Russia, illegal drugs. Why are you celebrating that? What is to celebrate about Brittney fucking Griner?
Nothing.
I'm gonna say something you guys as white guys can't say, but I'm black and I know this. Black people always celebrate the criminals. Why do we do this? I have no idea. There's nothing glorious about Brittney Griner going over to another country and admitting that she actually did what she did. And she has privilege. She jumped the line when there's other Americans over there that nobody knows their names. Nobody cares about them. The only reason why she's back over here is because Joe Biden needs the virtue signal for black people. And now she's getting paraded around and making black people look bad because she wants to be a weed head. I'm just calling it what it is.
Yep, you're right.
Stop celebrating these people.
And as someone that is black from the waist down and has a black friend named Ryan Kennel, I completely agree with what John Matrix said. So there you go. Take that one, left wingers. What are you going to say about that?
Even with all the virtue signaling, Joe Biden still didn't even do it in a timely manner, because we know if a certain other presidential candidate, former president, was president, Brittney Griner would have been back that week.
Home in a week.
Maybe
that week. So
this whole situation just represents everything that is wrong with the identity politics of the left and the Democrats and all of that. Like, this is nonsense. You had genuinely good people out there that are doing good things, and they're not even going to get acknowledged. But yet Brittney Griner is now being celebrated. This is why statistics with criminals are continuing to skyrocket. That's why you're seeing these dysfunctional, mentally ill people that are just constantly just popping up everywhere, because it's all being celebrated. All this shit, this behavior is being celebrated right now. Brittney Griner is being celebrated for being a criminal. It's ridiculous. Who was the Sam Brinton? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Britton?
Sam Brinton.
Yeah, like this dude was running around stealing women's clothes, working for the White House.
Yep.
What kind of world are we living in?
Yeah. White people out there celebrating Sam Brinton.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's no,
they're not.
Well, the white
some are trying to ignore them. Some are trying to ignore it.
Yeah.
But they're not
the white leftists are ignoring Sam Brinton because they know it's not good for him.
Yeah, very true. The whole Brittney Griner situation is pathetic. The Phoenix Mercury are going to try to grift off this basically by being like, look, 100%. We got BG back. Like, she's their banner still and all this stuff. A fucking criminal who doesn't even deserve to be home right now ahead of who they left there. Now, I don't think that she should do 10 years in a Russian prison for what she did, but she shouldn't have been the first one to come back. That's for damn sure. This is pathetic.
And guess what? Nobody's going to watch the WNBA. The ratings are still going to be terrible. No one cares. This is the most
still going to
relevant.
Lose money.
This is the most relevant the WNBA has ever been and ever will be. And they still won't have anyone watching or attending their games because no one actually cares about it. I remember when ESPN and Stephen A. Smith virtue signaled 2 years ago about we need to do better about highlighting women's sports. We need to do better about covering women's sports here on this channel. You know what happened?
They
just talk about Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James all day long.
Now they
You know
put
why?
it on
Because no
they put it on
fucking body
Twitter.
cares.
They put it on Twitter and they put it on the front of ESPN.com. That's it. But the shows don't ever cover it.
Yep.
It's funny because Sports Center, ESPN, they've been ramping it up, tweeting out like contract signings for the WNBA.
$160,000 contract. Breaking news.
Yeah, it's like Chinika Yagumkwe fucking signs a massive $120,000 deal with the Atlanta Dream. And like all the comments are just like, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, dude.
How the hell you pronounce her name? I don't know how to pronounce her name. That's how irrelevant she is. I can pronounce Giannis' name, and his name is hard to pronounce.
I gave it a shot there.
Everybody knows Giannis.
I don't know if I could repeat what I just said. Chinika
Naka Oyugumai. I don't know, man.
Naka Yugumakwe.
What?
I just say it with confidence. People assume you're right.
That sounds about right.
There you go.
But like, I don't watch First Take anymore. Okay, but like, they don't cover women's sports on First Take, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
so I can't
Only
find.
when Brittney Griner is like under arrest.
I can't find the actual video, but here's one. Here's what's funny is I made this for Sports Wars, Ryan, but it's still got the Geeks and Gamers like thing on it. But
nice.
Stephen A. Smith pretends to care about women's sports.
Particularly in that clip, because nearly everything that's come out of his mouth lately on this particular topic had to set the record straight on the lack of equity between men's and women's sports, or had to remind people of the success of women's sports.
How many this on
about you, Jeremy?
Facts like these. While NBA Finals ratings dropped to an historic low last year.
Wait.
So that's all this was. So Stephen A. ended up saying how they're going to take more responsibility and cover women's sports. And I said, these motherfuckers aren't going to talk women's sports at all because nobody cares. You know what you're going to talk about? You're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, LeBron versus Jordan. That's all you're going to fucking talk about every fucking day because that's what people care about. So like this, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what? I demand pay equity for male porn stars. They're not paid the same as women. So we demand equity.
I'm going to challenge John. I hope we have less male porn stars, and I'm just all about, women representation in that industry. So,
man, those women on OnlyFans are killing it.
Here it is. Like it's shit like this. I can, like for ESPN breaking. The LA Sparks and Neka Agwumake have agreed to a $165,000 1-year deal.
If that was the NBA, that'd be like $5 million, $6 million for a 1-year deal.
Well, and then even like look at this person.
They get blasted in the
Mac
comments.
McClung got paid $100,000 for winning the slam dunk contest. WNBA star players get paid $165 for 1 year. Big disparity. If it wasn't for the NBA supplementing the WNBA, there wouldn't be a WNBA. Like, fucking ratio to hell.
It's so true.
In the real world, when your company does not make money, guess what? They lay you off. I know that firsthand. I worked in oil and gas for years. When oil and gas companies don't make money, they lay people off.
Yep.
The WNBA shouldn't even be in existence. I mean, honestly, she shouldn't get a dime because they don't make any money.
I'm an advocate. We talk about the revenue sharing. That's what a lot of people are like pushing towards. I've even heard people that are advocating for WNBA players to have higher salaries for this. They should really get a cut of whatever the league is making. That's how you should do things like this.
Yeah.
Well, if that were the case, then every WNBA player would have to pay like 75 or 100 grand. Like that's what would have to happen. They would have to pay to play because they don't make any money. They lose money.
Yep.
Let's get to some of these.
Shout out to
chats.
Rumble. We got 1,100 people over on Rumble. So thank you guys. Nice. We got 600, almost 600 here on YouTube. So crushing it on both. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.
Gerald Armstrong for $5. Why is she trying to look like Ben Simmons? I got confused for a second.
She does.
There was a lot of those, like with her haircut, she looks like Ben Simmons. Except Ben Simmons can dunk. That's about all he can do. Taker for $5. Can they arrest Brandon Miller when he gets an assist, since he would be an accomplice to a successful shooting? Griner is flatter than the new Nebula. Dude, like, Brittney Griner is a man. Brittney Griner has no fucking tits.
Well, until you see her dunk.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's how we know that she biologically has two X chromosomes.
Yeah, we do have we have a picture. Well, not a picture. We have a video clip of Brittney Griner's attempt at dunking.
Oh boy,
Brittney Griner doesn't.
This shit never gets old, dude.
Mick, I think I said this. Mick Walsh for 2. Shake Shack beats 5 guys any day of the week. I disagree with that, but Alex Lawson for $2 says Culver's is mid. 5 guys is the GOAT. I don't think Culver's is mid. I think I do think that 5 guys is
5 guys better than Culver's.
One burger to eat, it would be a 5 guys burger.
No. I mean, look, I love 5 Guys as much as any other fast food joint, but it's really good though. It's definitely up there. So, and their fries, like the fries at 5 Guys, are so good, dude. Especially the Cajun. Especially the Cajun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. Really good. Like, it's expensive as fuck. You know, 5 Guys is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, if you don't have the money, go to
McDonald's.
Freddy's.
Oh.
That fries are good. With the fry sauce, oh man, fry sauce is good over there.
Mike Hill for $5. It was Biden, our VP, is probably the one that got Brittney out. It says, are you it? And then apostrophe. Maybe there's a word missing from this. Was Biden our VP that probably got Brittney out? Thank you, Mike Hill.
Biden or Kamala?
Maybe. Connor Akers for 2. WNBA, where nobody attends. That's good. So I think that is probably what the WNBA should stand for. But that's pretty much it for us, guys. Again, it's always interesting when we get into this part. NFL season seems to predominantly, hey, we got a lot of NFL headlines. Guess we could have talked about Aaron Rodgers getting out of his darkness retreat.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yes, we will keep up the sports coverage. Maybe Jeremy, if Bubba Wallace fucking gets in a crash and dies, Jeremy will make a video for Sports Wars. But that's about it. Jeremy, what do we got going
on? Tomorrow, obviously, usually on Sundays we were doing Mario Kart, but we've moved that to Mondays. I don't think we're gonna have anything going on the Geeks and Gamers channel, the main channel today, but I'm probably gonna stream on my Twitch channel, and Rolo might stream on Geeks and Gamers Play later tonight. So yeah, but other than that, we'll see you guys on Monday for Mario Kart, and then Tuesday for Tuesday night's main event, Cobra Cast Monday after Mario Kart. So a lot coming up this week.
Rob Bart for $10. Have any of you been to a WNBA game? I've never been.
Nope.
I think was that a question of like all humans or just us particular? Because
just us specifically. It's not good odds. Not good odds.
Yeah. I do want to go see the Houston Roughnecks play in the XFL. I may go do that sometime.
Ooh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I've never been. I guess I could have gone to a Chicago Sky game or something when
I don't even like going to real games like NFL, even college football, or I just rather be at home.
NFL games are much better on TV.
I watched like I will now that I'm in Orlando more than I'm in Pensacola now, but previously like I have hookups at like Alabama games, and I like to go to like one per year. But I don't like going to games though. I just want to be at home, man.
I like going to college games more than NFL games. I mean, I went to, I think, 4 or 5 USC games this past season, and man, it's a freaking blast. Just the marching band and everything, and then, I mean, it's college football, so there's tons of college chicks there who, I don't know, that they're all in the student section, they're all just partying. I don't know. It's fun to people watch at college football games.
Yep.
Yeah,
now, NASCAR races are fun to go to, Jonathan. At least they used to be. No, I don't know what it is now. Like, I mean, now it's like you could probably get into a NASCAR race for near nothing because no one goes anymore compared to how it was back in the day.
I was gonna say like I've never really had an opportunity or never been close, but then I think about it and it's like, no, I was probably like as close to potentially like having possibilities to go to WNBA games as anybody, because I could have gone to Chicago games. I could have gone to, is it Indiana Fever? So Indiana's WNBA team is called. So like I could have gone. It's just, why the fuck would I? So yeah, I've never been to a WNBA game. Beardo, what do you got going on?
Nothing much. Same. Just streaming on my Twitch channel when I can, when I have time. Posting those videos to YouTube, and then just, doing.
He's traveling pretty soon. That's all we'll say.
Yes. So it's been a busy past few weeks. Working, packing, saving up. But yes, we are having a little bit of a life change. So we will be traveling here very, very soon. So that'll be exciting. The next 3 weeks are going to be very busy for me. So
good stuff. And
then John Matrix of Black and White Sports. What about you?
Go and check out my video on the NAACP Image Awards. So I focus on Dwayne Wade. He made a pretty woke speech over there, pretty Griner. So
about his son becoming a daughter.
Yeah, and Gabrielle Union made a woke statement too, also. So did that. So go check that out.
There you go. All right, guys, and we will be back.
I do agree. Bubba is killing NASCAR's image every second, every day, easily. He's the worst thing that ever happened to NASCAR. Well, it's not even him though, as much as it's NASCAR panders to his bullshit. That's really what the problem is. That's really what the problem is.
Yeah, they've elevated him, and they pushed him because he was black. When it was popular to try to pander to woke leftists about racism, you know, to have all of NASCAR walking behind him, the Confederate flag stuff, all of it. Bubba Wallace is a fake victim bitch. And when you push somebody like that, you're going to turn people off. We've seen it happen in the WNBA. People like LeBron James, as talented as LeBron actually is, he's a woke, fake victim, social justice, beta bitch. And it turns people off, which is why people have walked away. But anyway, that's going to be it for us this week. Shout out to our big Rumble crowd. We appreciate the hell out of you guys. And we'll be right back here, 11:30 Eastern next week on Sunday. Talk to you guys later.
Everyone. Bye.